Several months after the fiasco that has taken place at the Kingdom Hall, that I think we all thoroughly were refreshed. What happens there? It was refreshing, friends. When knock, 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 one day on the door, looked outside, there's 3 elders standing there. They come to visit me. Oh no! What's going to happen now? It was Brother McDonald from the Kingdom Hall. Also with him was Brother Shrine. I know! Apparently, he had weathered the truck stop scandal and was still an elder. Yeah! Good for him. Good for him. Being an elder is fun. Why should you have to tap out just because you got some tang? Stay in there. Get some work done. Also with them was an 80-year-old guy. His name was Gosmark. And he was also an elder. Or an EIN, if you've heard of those. It's an elder in name only. When Jehovah's Witnesses get old, look, if you're in Christendom and you're a preacher there, at some point you're going to retire and get put out to pasture. Not Jehovah's Witnesses. You continue working until you drop. That's the way it is. But at the same time, they can't have people who have lost their marbles being making decisions and such. And so they let them retain their title and still make them go out in service, but they are de-empowered and their responsibilities are whisked away. And Gosmark was technically an elder, but no venom and no responsibilities. Yeah! And they said they were there to do a shepherding call on me. Oh boy! This is going to tingle like orange juice. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But they were there to do a shepherding call. And, yeah! I told them that 3 elders is not a shepherding call. It's a judicial committee. Ha ha ha, nice try. They stood there for a moment and Brother McDonald said, well, can we come in? And I said, okay, but Father Time, you got to go sit in the car. You got to wait outside. And so McDonald and Shrine came in and sat down. And I said, what do you want? And McDonald said, well, first of all, I want to get things started off right with a handshake. And so I gave him a handshake. Shrine also extended his hand. I said, I know where that hand's been. No, friends. But I did say that. And then Shrine said, well, brother, we haven't seen you at the hall lately. And I said, I haven't seen you at the truck stop lately. Did you stop going? Just kidding, friends. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. And apparently he had survived the whole truck stop thing that had happened. It happened, and things went from there and continued. But he, I guess he got through it. He said that the woman was his massage therapist. He had a back injury. She was helping him work through it. All right, fair enough. I don't know too many massage therapists with inch-long press-on nails, but it's, what do I know? It's your world, people. I just live here. And anyway, they proceeded with the shepherding call. And by shepherding call, it's you. If you've been in one, you know what it is. It's a shit kicker. But the first 10 minutes they were there, they were basically hashing out some minor skirmishes I had with Jehovah's Witnesses around town. I forget how many months had transpired since I had stopped going to the Kingdom Hall, but around town, I've seen a few dicks here and there, and I flipped them off. Can't really. It's a he said, she said thing. It's their word against mine. That doesn't go anywhere. Look, there were some hurt feelings. They grabbed me. Tossed me out of the Kingdom Hall. These weren't strangers. These are people I went to get-togethers with, people I sat next to out in service, people I went to doors with. I was there for 2.5 years. These people are supposed to be my friends. I stand up in a meeting and I want to address the audience and tell them something. All the time we spent together, I wasn't worth 10 seconds. You can't give me 10 seconds to hear me out. If I had gone before the meeting and said, look, can I address the congregation for 10 seconds? I want to tell them something. Oh, hell no. They weren't going to let me. I didn't have any choice. I did what I had to. They weren't mad at me for what I said because I didn't get to say it. I didn't get to finish. I was talking for 5 seconds when they rushed me. They're not afraid of what I was saying. They're afraid of the look on my face. Once the spell is broken, it's an expression on your face. When someone looks at you and they know that they don't have power over you anymore, they're afraid. Jehovah's Witnesses cannot live with that reality. They can't accept it. Anyway, long story short, I said fuck you to some people around town, made fun of them. I'd seen Jehovah's Witnesses out in service. I rolled down my windows a couple of times, made like a jacking off motion and stuff like just, kid stuff, just having fun, just keeping it limber, out there just doing my Tai Bo, doing my stretches. They wanted to make some issues out of that. I just denied everything. I was like, no, I don't. What? I was like, no, fuck them. And but after a while, we got to the crux of the situation. They wanted me to return to the Kingdom Hall. He said, Brother McDonald said, well, this Sunday, the brothers would like to sit down with you after the meeting. We'd like for you to be there. I said, I don't want to. I want to stay home and watch TV. And Shrine said, I'll cut to the chase. There's something wrong with you. You're going to have to come back to the Kingdom Hall to get this straightened out. I said, what do you mean something's wrong with me? He said, you're sick. You have a mental sickness, and at the Kingdom Hall is where you're going to get better. Now, this is important. This is an important moment here, friends, because what's being put on the table by the body of elders is return to the Kingdom Hall, take what's coming to you, and you can still be a Jehovah's Witness. But I don't know if whoever you are watching this video, maybe you did used to go to the Kingdom Hall. Maybe you've faded away. Maybe you went inactive. The reason it's deathly important to Jehovah's Witnesses for you to be at every meeting and read every Watchtower is that if you lapse, if you've missed a few meetings, maybe you know what I'm talking about. You miss a few meetings, it's easy to miss a few more. You've been away from the Kingdom Hall for 2 months, 3 months. Maybe you don't want to go back. And at the time, that's how I felt. I didn't want to go back to being a Jehovah's Witness. For 8 months, I had been living like a worldly person. And it was not bad. And I said, I don't want to go to the Kingdom Hall. And I'm not sick. And Brother Shrine said, you are sick. You don't know you're sick, but you're sick. You have the mental sickness. I want to tell you something. The terminology of mentally diseased, it's not a new thing with Jehovah's Witnesses. I know that last year was when the article came out that just broke it wide open and it went public. But I got to tell you, the term mentally diseased has been in the Jehovah's Witness lexicon for many years. I've heard it several times. Never thought that it would be used to describe me, but here we are. And these brothers doing the shepherding call maintained that I had become mentally diseased. And I said, well, if I'm mentally sick, we can go right now to the emergency room. There's a hospital a mile away. We'll go to the ER. I'll get a checkup. And they'll give me a diagnostic, and they can tell me if something's, even if they're not mental health professionals, they can tell me if something is wrong here, and we can get any. And Brother Shrine said, We're not going to entertain your little fantasies. I know the thing you do. We're not going to do your little thing. And I said, this isn't my little thing I do. I'm making a deal with you. I'm serious. We can make an appointment anytime, and we can go see a psychiatrist. You guys can come with me. And I will spend an hour talking to a psychiatrist and explain to him why I don't want to go back to the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. And when I'm done, you can go in there and tell your side of the story and explain to him that I am mentally sick and going to that building is how I'm going to get better. And then when it's all over, the psychiatrist can tell us which one of us is crazy. At this point, Brother Shrine, of course, being a very pissy person to begin with, was getting kind of hot under the collar and losing his cool. He said, your judicial proceeding will be this Sunday at 3 p.m. It will happen with or without you, but I suggest you be there. And I said, why don't you have a Bible? You men don't have Bibles. It was something that had not escaped my attention, that Brother Shrine had a clipboard, he had some Watchtower magazines. Brother McDonald had a notebook and some Watchtower magazines. What was conspicuously absent was a small rectangular black book that Jehovah's Witnesses will tell you their life revolves around. If you've been around Jehovah's Witnesses, they may tell you that the Holy Scriptures have changed their life and it's the foundation of everything they believe in. But if you spend enough time around them, you're going to notice that in many situations, the Bible will not factor in at all. And in the 15 minutes of my shepherding call, there were no scriptures read, there were no scriptures quoted, there were no scriptures alluded to, there were no scriptures paraphrased. And I said to Brother Shrine, you guys came out of thin air. You knock on my door, tell me that you have come here in God's name and that you intend to judge me in God's name. And neither one of you has got a Bible. Where are your Bibles? And Brother McDonald said, well, my Bible's right out there in the car. I can go get it for you. And I said, nah, it's all right. Don't bother. Also with them was an 80-year-old guy. His name was Gossmark. And he was also an elder. Or an EIN, if you've heard of those. It's an elder in name only. Scandal. And was still an elder. Yeah! Good for him. Good for him. Being an elder is fun. Why should you have to tap out just because you got some tang? Stay in there. Get some work done. There's 3 elders standing there. They're come to visit me. Oh no! What's going to happen now? It was Brother McDonald from the Kingdom Hall. Also with him was Brother Shrine. I know. Apparently, he had weathered the truck stops. Several months after the fiasco that has taken place at the Kingdom Hall, that I think we all thoroughly were refreshed. What happens there? It was refreshing, friends. When knock, 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 one day on the door, looked outside,